as a failed fashion design pre-major. That's a long story. Anyway, so I took the pre-major classes for the semester. Try again next semester, next fall, depending on how this year comes and goes. But so you don't make some of the mistakes that I did, I'm gonna tell you at least some stuff that I either figured out or figured is best to know, or just stuff that I straight out of the Bible. So, first thing, get one of these. This is called a sewing hammer. I've heard that half of us in class did not know what the fuck this was. But, yeah, because, closer to the concept art time, when you have to, actually piece together, sew it, iron, pressing, etc. These are, none in town. Out of the whole fucking city, there was, none. I looked online, the closest one was in Plano. It's a 40-minute drive from where I currently live. So, order one of these if you can before you take the class. This is going to be about $14 to $16, unless you want to go for a real expensive one that's like $2 or something like that. But you shouldn't necessarily need to spend more than $16 without shipping it. Use it for corners to make it very smooth and pressure to get it to the shape you need. Next, if you live in a tiny ass apartment like I do, you're probably going to want a sewing mat with attachment instead of a full-on sewing. Not sewing mat, obviously I need an ironing mat. I'm sorry, it's 4 a.m. and I've just finished a shit ton of homework. An ironing mat that can fit on a table or a counter. Because I have no room for an ironing board. You think, well, you can just put it up on the wall. My wall is full of storage units for classwork stuff. Butcher paper, which is another thing I'll get to in a second. But yes, this one is, decent size. Less than 2, give or take 2 feet or so, minus attachment. This is perfect. This helps me out so much. Get one of these. They're 20 max. I'm gonna have to do a calculation for the budget. I'm gonna want to just prepare for the fall semester if you want to take classes. But yeah, this was about $20. So pricing wise, we're about 30-ish, 30 to 40 bucks right now. Estimate. As far as muslin goes, if I had to give you an honest pitch idea for how much muslin you probably are going to be using, my guesstimate would be, I'd recommend you get 8 to 10 yards of muslin. If not, go ahead and get 14 or 12. I mean, 14 probably works too. But I wouldn't get it all as one sheet if you can possibly get it in sets of 3 or 4 yard sheets. Muslin prices varies tremendously. The muslin I usually get is less than $5. The one I get whenever I get both is maybe $3. So let's say hypothetically you find one that's $4, and then you say 8 yards. The math doesn't fuck up. It's so we're at close to 64 or 65 bucks guesstimate, and I'm not done yet. In case your sewing kit doesn't have one of these, because well, my sewing pattern kit didn't have one, but you're gonna need it because it's gonna be a part of your sewing class. Your pattern making class, which I will get to later, is gonna have like different tips that I'll but yes, get one of these. This is like $5. This will be used for like maybe 1 or 2 assignments, but it's good to have future tense-wise, because generally, when it comes to the sewing kits and the pattern making kits, you're going to be using them continuously, regardless. Sorry about how shitty my lighting is. You're going to be using these in everything, regardless, for a while. So it's fine that you only have to use it once or twice now, because if you have to make like spaghetti straps or whatever in the future more times in more complex designs, then yeah, you're gonna be happy that you got this sooner. This, yeah, I said about $5, so give or take, or close to pricing 70-ish, but I'm not done. With COVID and everything being a struggle, use of the on-campus items is difficult. So, if you can get lucky enough, get yourself a serger. Yes, no, things cost like $300. I'd recommend getting a used one, which again puts you at about $150. Give or take. So now that we've reached the point of like $70, now we're at $150 plus the 70. So we are at what, close to 220? Budgeting around 220, but I'm not completely done yet, because you are essentially required to have your own sewing machine at home. I mean, yes, you're taking industrial sewing regardless of what school you go to, but you're still going to need your own sewing machine at home. I mean, a regular home sewing machine is going to cost $100, $200. So let's say you get one cheap for like $100, like mine was. Mine was like $100 off of Overstock.com. Let's say you do that. That puts you at now budgeting $300-ish. This is not a fun thing. I never promised this is fun. I mean, you can get away with not having a serger on hand, but like, get one if you can, simply because COVID made things hard and everyone is cramming to do the same thing. And worse, especially around entry review time. So if you can, do that. And also, my tips and budgeting does not include the actual kits you'll have to buy, which for my school was just one kit that was the pattern making and the sewing. I don't know how it is at other schools, but that alone was about $120. So I know the numbers aren't looking good, but I'm telling you this now. It's November of 2020. These tips are basically however things are by August, September 2021. So I'm telling you how much you need to set aside and like what you need to look out for. Obviously you need to shrink. You already know how much that varies. I'm not going to tell you how to run for that one. That's just a given. And having regular fabric. Now for my courses in particular, we made skirt, flannel shirt, and then like I can't remember what the other thing was. This is why I'm a failed one. But essentially, for like the flannel shirt, we were required about 3 yards. The skirt was only about 1.5 yards. Now, granted, I don't know what your sewing what type of skirts, what type of shirts, because ours was just a flannel button up with a pocket, and then this first skirt was like an A-line skirt. Now in the pattern making class, we have different types of skirts and different type of conceptual shirts, but I will get to that in just a bit. I'll make it a part 2, essentially. But as far as sewing goes, here's some advice as far as like hair and things like that. Obviously, you need to have clean, professional, basic stitches. And I'll tell you a few of the ones that we did. I won't tell you everything, but to get a general idea, you're going to need to know how to do like basic straight lines, being able to pivot and do corners or curved lines as smoothly as possible, different basic seams, like a plain seam with a clean edge finish. Look into that. A French seam, flat bell seam, a Bowen seam, or a Hong Kong seam. And then you're going to learn how to do different darts. Like fisheye dart, straight paper dart, cutaway dart, blah, blah. You're going to need bias strips. You learn how to do that. Like I said, the little device that I showed you earlier, that was for spaghetti straps. You need to know how to do different binding, sleeve binding, fold binding, etc. You're going to learn how to, if I recall correctly, make like pockets, tiny little pocket thingies and whatnot. Just basically look into those different types of like stitch work, and if you can practice that, because you know you have to have it look professional. Like, you start out not knowing how to sew, but some of us are not neurotypical and functional and slower than most people. And if you can get a head start the best you can, I recommend doing what you do. Also for sewing, I'd recommend, this is going to cost you another $50-$60 to get your own mannequin. I'm going to tell you now, the size frame that my school and the standard, industry standard, is about a size 8. Some schools might be a little different, they might go with a 6. Some may go with a 10, but our school used an 8, so I'd recommend getting a mannequin that's either a 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. It stands up pretty tall, and that puts you at, what, give or take, 360, 370. And that's not even including textbooks or fabric in general. But as far as like sewing, that's the best advice I can give you. Besides, make sure you plan enough time for mistakes. Plan time for mistakes. Lots of time for mistakes, because there's going to be plenty of time for you to sew and unstitch the entire seam. There's going to be multiple times where you just mess up like that, and it's okay. But also plan for it. You're not going to be perfect at first. Plan for it. Plan going as clean, smoothly, and forward as possible. Also, as far as pressing, they're going to tell you this in class. You may already know this if you have experience with sewing. Always keep some muslin on the side for pressing purposes, because you have fabrics like polyester, other synthetic fabrics, that could get easily destroyed if too hot of an iron, which hopefully you have your own, but if not, that's another $24, maybe the numbers aren't really good, but let's say you already have one. Always keep some muslin for covering fabric. It's a fabric so that it doesn't melt it. Like cotton and whatnot, as long as you don't like leave it on for too long, it's fine. But like more other kinds of fabrics do that. And also always keep a spare piece of muslin in case your sewing machine fucks up. You never go into sewing assuming your sewing machine isn't messed up somehow. Now that sounds kind of cynical, I know, but listen. Before you actually start sewing, like say if you're doing the test sewing, like the different lines, like the straight lines, the corners, whatever, not the actual like proper sewing, or just any of the introductory stuff, as long as it's not an actual garment, I would recommend having 2 different color strings. One for the base, or the understitching, and one for the top stitching. That way you can troubleshoot instantly if something goes wrong. It's hard to tell when it's the same. But if it's a different color, you can see where the problem is. A lot better. So you can always either test run like a piece of muslin or spare shred fabric, and then you can put it in something. That is the best thing I can do as far as sewing. As far as pattern making goes, I will elaborate that in another video because this one is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But basically, you're going to budget close to 400 if you include a serger. If not, it's going to be a bit less, give or take. Not by so much, but it's going to be close to 300 without the serger. I don't know as far as other classes, but have interfacing and lefts on your own if you can. It's not a huge requirement, but it helps. You can have your own just on the side like that. Our teacher was fairly gracious. I don't know how y'all's are going to be, but if you can,